Hello, chillers. Welcome to yet another episode of On the Table. This is episode 17. We're almost nearing the end of the season. It's been an awesome season episode. Again, season 2.
Season 2.
There we go. My name is Tepi.
I'm DJ Black Velvet.
Church Girl is here.
And just like that, this is how it looks. Today we have a table. Please.
Finally.
Can the people who shade us about the table, can they please go to the comment section and say thank you
for having a
giving us
table.
And the drinks. They've always said also our tables are empty.
Yeah.
So
La
we also
Jajana
have
Lune.
drinks.
It's about the
Imagine.
conversation. Forget what's actually sitting on the table. Also, a very big shout out to Cuisino. Cuisino in Melrose. It's absolutely divine. The food is incredible. The drinks are incredible. And this is where we're going to have our event.
Yes.
So looking forward to that one. 27th of August, it's going to be a really, really awesome one. Tickets and details and everything will come onto this podcast. We'll also go into the Jane's podcast as well. In fact, on the entire network, so that you can come through, enjoy. It's going to be an awesome one. Also a great way to wrap up Women's Month.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
And just generally when we're talking about our episodes and season 2, how interesting that has been, and generally with growth, right? And I think in the conversations that we've had, the brand partnerships that we've had have also been quite
Amazing.
positive.
I mean, they were absolutely amazing. And I think it was a nice way to sort of pave what the end of Women's Month would look like for us, you know, the conversations that we've had. And I see a lot of people, I think the very first one that we flighted with the brand that we partnered with, they were like, this was so educational, so informative. We really need conversations like these. So I think we did good there, hey?
We did.
And it changed their minds. The ladies' podcast is not boring, guys. Never boring.
And with that being said, I mean, when we did the brand partnerships, I did a lot of introspection and I did a lot of self-love, self-care. I looked at a lot of brands that I was looking
knowing
around.
knowing you. So Tepi shared something with us
I
earlier
will.
in our group.
I will always.
And she's going to share it with you
I will
now.
always plug you because I love you. Okay?
Plus, o rata le manyobinyo.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And this is why I discovered Lushka. You must check it out. It's also available on Take-A-Lot as well. So Lushka is an adult wellness brand that allows singles to fully embrace self-love, while giving couples an opportunity to discover each other and each other's hidden orgasmic treasures.
So Tep is always plugging me, especially. You know, guys, she's always on my case. So when she sent this through, I was like, okay, I'm going to
Yes.
try
I'll
this
give it a
out.
try.
I love to make sure that you guys are taken care of as well. So Lushka aims to create and build sexually healthy, happy, and educated communities. They offer a variety of products ranging from lubes, sexual enhancement, massage candles,
I can't wait to try those.
adult toys, body and bath products, and that's what they offer, which I really, really think is amazing. So at Lushka, they make it better.
Literally petroleum jelly. Buy
Or fish oil.
or fish oil.
Did I tell you about my story of fish oil?
No.
Tepi
Before
always
we
has
even
stories.
start, I know. But let me tell you about this one. Why the guys always say, hey. Emang, riska chachanang. So just side off the table.
Hey, this one.
So I once dated a guy, no, Owangali. Ziwangali. So I dated a guy,
International.
International.
well,
Tepi.
a neighbor of international, if we're being honest. An Oga. So I dated an Oga, and this guy, we're getting it. We're doing it. And as we're doing it, this guy moves away from me. Look, I didn't really like him, which will explain where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And he gets off the bed. And he's so weird. I can't remember whether it was like, there weren't Airbnbs then. So it was like a guest house situation where there's the kitchen, the bathroom, everything sort of in one space. This guy gets up and he's here. He's
the cupboards.
frantically opening the cupboards. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm looking for fish oil. I said,
Oh,
fish oil for what? He's like, you're dry. I said, no! You're not using fish oil. I'm in China because I'm dry. No. That's my story of fish oil.
wow,
And
guys.
so every time, Kibona fish oil, fish oil. Fish oil, ya dura, fish oil, ya dura. That nigga was about to make it rain on my pussy with fish oil.
Fish oil. Yes, sis.
Yes.
Guys,
About to
Lushka's
cook
got
it
you.
raw.
No, tugelang the fish oil. Lushka. We make it better.
They make it better.
All right, let's put it on the table. Let's have a conversation. It's an
Yes.
awesome conversation today. And I love that we're deviating a little bit away from the sex element. And we're in the month of Women's Month. Happy Women's Month, by the way, to all the ladies who are watching the podcast. And of course, those who also identify as women.
Happy.
Let's have the conversation. Why do we dislike each other as women so much? We enter into a room and there's this hate. There's this uncommunicated dislike, uncommunicated hate, uncommunicated reading that we have for each other and with each other. We have to talk about it. And the thing about it is, the guys that we arrive with, it makes them so uncomfortable because we are unable to just sit in a table or sit in a place together, in an establishment together, and just be kosher. Why is that? I'm putting it on the table.
Go Black Velvet. I'm throwing it on that side of the table.
Hey, in my experience, a lot of the times, I think it's insecurity. So you come into a room, if you're with Bay, so you come into a room, you see there's Tepi, there's Nolu, automatically I'm measuring. It's okay, this one could be type ka baby, and therefore...
You are measuring.
No, I'm saying, in my opinion, I think that could be why a lot of the times when women walk into a room and they find other women, they just have some type of dislike. We mostly compare ourselves to the other.
Okay.
So I look at you and then I want to measure you. Go to unji. Therefore, either I'm trying to make myself feel better about myself, or I'm trying to see how I can best compete with you.
What's your thought?
So for me, I'm generally a shy person. So when I walk into a room, I don't necessarily look or judge or whatever, but I think my eyes quickly scout around the room to see whose face is friendlier, who can I sit with.
I see.
Guys,
That's what I do.
you know, if you go back to our previous episodes, especially the previous one, when I looked at it, I was like, girl, fix your resting bitch face because it doesn't look nice.
Who's resting?
My
bitch?
resting bitch face. I look like... So you would look at me for the first time and my face is rested and you would think she's a mean girl.
But you see, that's my thing. It's that resting bitch face that people think that you are. And sometimes, guys, it's not even that you're doing it on purpose. It really is. That is how your face rests. And you guys are
Like
going to sit here
mine.
and call it a resting bitch face. Before we even talk about resting bitch faces, let's start from the beginning. Let's take it home. And they always say charity begins at home. When we first started doing episodes together, remember you guys had already started.
Yeah.
I was in KZN, I came back, and they said, let's. And you guys had already started the concept that we had already thought of, but then I got there and we all had different ideas of who we were
Okay.
before we got to know each other. So first impressions of when we met each other and what we thought of each other.
So for me, I think I was fortunate because I arrived while you and Khomotso were shooting. I think you did the episode. So I was privileged to see your vibe and you vibing with Khomotso. So immediately after the episode, I was like, hi, Tepi. It almost felt like I knew you and we've been around. In all honesty, I don't remember having besides your lingo, I don't...
Besides my swearing.
You know, besides your swearing, I don't think I have any other thoughts. You know, I just thought you were such a vibe and you were different from me and Khomotso. So it was a nice, spice added into the conversation. Other than that, nothing.
So you met Khomotso before I arrived. So you guys had already been in a conversation or in an episode together, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
How was that? How was the first impression there?
So I can be very aloof also. Like, I can be here and not be there. Like, as I said, I'm shy. I also don't know if my shyness, I use it as not a defense mechanism as in, like, don't come to me, but there's a barrier that I put up where I'll talk to you if you talk to me.
That wasn't my experience with you at all.
No.
We're gonna hear that. We're gonna hear that.
Not even in a bad way. Not even in a bad way if I talk to you, talk to me. But as I said, there's some sort of anxiety that happens with me when I get into a room and there are a lot of people. And that's why I said I read the room. So I tend to sit in my corner. And
And see Huirala.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll be awkwardish like that. Other people might see it as or read it as, oh, you know,
You stand
uzenza
offish.
ngcono or whatever. But I just don't know how to approach. What was your experience?
Of
What
you?
was yours?
Yeah.
You were very nice. You're very nice. I even remember you offered me water. We had
She can't even
generous.
believe
I'm a
it.
nice
She can't
person.
believe it.
No, she was very nice. We did have we were anxious, obviously, about the show and how it's gonna look, whether or not we're gonna make it to the top 3 that's left. But otherwise, personally, she was nice.
No, do you know what I also think happened? Is it the episode we shot at that rooftop?
Yeah.
I think what was happening, there were other ladies who had like similar characters and they like quickly clicked and immediately
two
they were
of
like
us.
this. And then the two of us were like,
Because we were not in the...
but that thing
But
that
we
was
were
going
nice
on
to
there.
each other.
No, we all got along, but
got
it was just
along.
like, oh, okay, no, that's not our
Was
bite.
there an uncommunicated dislike?
Of-
Do you know that of one or two or all of the girls that were there, you know that thing of, I eat like mile. It's what I hear a lot. It's what I hear
But
a
I don't
lot.
think we had that.
No.
I didn't have that on any of the ladies.
No.
Okay.
Because I only met them once, and it was that night, that morning, and I don't know if it's also partly because majority of them were drunk. So you know when you're drunk, you become
Oh,
over
I think I know the
friendly.
episode you're talking about.
So they become over friendly.
Yes.
So I don't think we had the opportunity to
really-
look at each other sideways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then when
Dutch
I
courage is always nice.
met you for the first time, I thought you were going to come with your celebrity.
Me?
Yeah.
Ah.
Turns out it was like so refreshing. You were crazier than me though, because the first conversation we had, you're like, guys, guess how
Well, we're talking about news. So we were right up my alley.
nah, man, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I never got the vibe ya gore we get a betere or I could compare myself to you.
Yeah.
More than anything, I appreciated that either you were from the hood, so you can relate to some of, you know, things that happen in the hood. It was very easy to gel with you. It was very easy. Although she never responds to text, Shem. You want to speak to Tepi? Call Tepi.
Do you text her?
No, I stopped.
So bad. I'm bad.
Yeah.
Even with WhatsApp. I'll see.
No, I think
It's
the
the
only
anxiety
thing,
of responding.
the only thing now that I could say about you, like now thinking what Khumut was saying before she even met you, I would say I just thought also, okay, celebrity, she's gonna get there and be like, these girls, they don't know what they're doing.
They don't know who I am. Do you
So
know
I was
who I am?
nervous on that aspect. You go, do you know what? I'm here to do what I want to do, and then you're gonna come with your professionalism and your experience and whatnot, and you're gonna be like, Mac, cut. Honestly, that was the only thing I was nervous about. But you as an individual, no
You
thoughts.
turned
Pride.
out to
How
not
did
be so
how
much
did
of a celebrity.
you find?
I hated you guys.
Oh.
I'm like, these bitches is boring, dog. The fuck am I doing here? Just kidding. Look, and maybe I get what you're saying in the terms of being aloof. Do you know what I mean? And I think maybe because I have such a love of being around women, that for me, being around women just really genuinely makes me happy. Unless and until I see an offish behavior, I can give and I can dish offish. You know, so if I see offish, I'll dish offish. But if there's no offish, there's no need to be offish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there was never really anything that was said or an attitude that was set between all of us for me to feel that I need to have that guard up. So when I came in, it wasn't even that. It was just, oh, there's this podcast. We had been talking about it for a long time. What is the format that you guys have? Let's run with the format that you have, even though it was a completely different format to what we had come up with before. But let's do it, because I love it and I love women who can hold conversations. That was my only thing. My only thing was, are we able to hold conversations? And if we're able to hold a conversation, then shit.
yeah.
Having a conversation with women is always, for me, such a winner. So it was never even that. I mean, and then your name was Church Girl, and I was like,
What the hell?
yeah, okay, look, that threw me off, if I'm being honest.
I mean, even Saul still asks, why are you church girl?
Yeah, no, he tries to change your name all the time. Yeah, that kind of threw me off. I'm like, church girl. But I'm like, okay, interesting dynamic. Holmes, I didn't quite get your vibe more than I do now, obviously, because I was just like, I was trying to figure out what and where it is that you're off. I mean, if you're saying church girl, you kind of already know where this one is going. Look, okay, it's all kosher up in here, hallelujah. And I mean, for you, it took me a while to sort of gauge who and what you are, you know, and what you could potentially bring to the podcast as well, because I suppose that was also a thing on how we can all make it work. And I can admit, sure, maybe the first couple of episodes were a bit weird, and also only because we had not hung out with each other, we had not been in the same space with each other, and that's generally how things work. But in terms of like whether or not I got into the room and the first thing I thought of was, I don't like these girls. Or, do you know what I mean? Sussing out, you are able to suss out someone's behavior or someone's attitude without being mean. So that's what I'm saying, that I was trying to suss Khomoto out without being mean, without trying to be like,
What you about?
Yeah, what you about? What you about? This table. I was just trying to sort of make sure that you don't step on her toe, because there's a reason why she's here. There's a reason why she's here. The fact that we're sitting on the same table, pun completely intended. For me, sort of made sense that there's a reason. So let's work with what we have. Let's see what we can do. Let's see the amazingness that can come out. And that sort of brings me to this conversation of asking, is it true? And this almost always comes from women who feel like there's always an innate hate. I am going to say innate because it's like, I didn't learn to hate you.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So you must think I'm born hating you. I walked into a room and I'm like,
And I was like, immediately hate you.
when I don't want to drink something rain pant. Do you know what I mean?
And literally there is the
There is. And it happens like that. And you walk in and Ushebi, you're up and down. And you're just like, why? Why is there that need to look at each other that way, or to be that type of person to each other?
Maybe then we can ask the question, why have we looked at women that way? You know, not necessarily why, if we felt like we were being looked at, but if women walked in, if you've done it to somebody, and I'm saying this because I think I've sat, like, you know, with my friends, like now if somebody would walk in, I would look at them, but not necessarily that I'm judging, but look.
Be honest. I'm probably judging.
For me, in the beginning, before the podcast, I was a very, I could say, a nonchalant person. I was very welcoming until Moto Ausheba sideways. Otherwise, then you'd wonder, okay, and then.
Before
But
the
I,
podcast.
yeah,
Do they look at you like that now because you're on the podcast?
yeah. Now they expect you to. They expect you to either be celebrity-like, or I don't know. I don't know what they expect you to be. But lucky for me, where I've come from in the hood, I remember this one time after I cut my hair.
Yeah.
I had a beanie on, and I was crossing the road. So some guy hooted at me, goes, "Popo," okay, and I look, and then I continue walking, and then the guy stops, like, "Black Velvet," and I looked at him. I was like, "Hi." I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to behave. I was like, "Hi." He's like, "So udula amovele." I'm like, "Yeah, this is my hood." I was like, "How did you see me?" Because I thought cutting off my hair would sort of
would throw
like,
people.
I know, we know you now. So now I'm aware of myself when I walk around.
Sure.
Who can see me? It's a bit.
Really?
That
Yeah,
makes me
and
nervous,
now,
I don't want to lie.
It makes me super, super nervous, because now I don't even know how to behave. I am still myself, but some days you're not happy.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're not happy. Sometimes you don't want to take a picture. And people want to take pictures. Therefore, they would say, "Oh, today baga snacks ganchan." Then go on social media. You know, so even on the previous episode, there's a person who commented, we saw you got small street.
Oh, yes, I saw that. I saw that.
I was like, you should have come and say hi. But probably my resting bitch face was not welcoming for that person to come forth and be like, hi. But yeah, it happens. It happens.
I'm not ready for that, guys. I experienced what you experienced just a couple of weeks ago at Mall of Africa. And I was like, could it ever happen anywhere else but Mall of Africa? And somebody shouted, "Church girl!" Like, I was walking, and that time I was walking so fast because I was late for a birthday. But I had to, like, quickly
But now it
think.
looks like you're Mbalek.
Sengathi uyambaleka.
But she was behind me. The nice thing is that she was behind me. So she saw me walking past, like very fast. And then she screamed, "Church girl." So I had to be like, oh, shit. I turned back and I was like, and she was with a little girl and it was so sweet. But
And this is another woman.
this is another woman. Yeah, definitely, it's another woman. And, I hugged them and I apologized. I said, guys, I'm sorry. I'm late for a birthday, so I have to go. And she was like, no, I just wanted to say hi and that we watch your podcast and we love it. I was like, thanks, guys. Bye.
That's really awesome. We really do appreciate the love. This is both from men and women as well. And like we said, the people who do identify as women, you definitely completely welcome here. And I think for me, if we're being 100, guys, and if we're being honest, we have walked into a room where we have disliked someone without them having said a word.
The only reason I would dislike you is because I know you're after my man. That's the only reason.
How would you know, man?
No,
By how you look at him all the way, guys.
But also sometimes it
happens.
No, sometimes we look at each other and think, but yesterday he was not with her.
Woo, the guy.
Yes.
That's not your business.
No. We're not entering your business because you're going to come and chill with us anyway.
But you see, you do innately or you do internally, subconsciously make it your business because you start treating me different because usiabulela ufike with two different girls.
We are shocked.
No.
Amanda today.
No. In my experience, what has happened before, to your point, guy would bring a different girl, right? The girl, kena o snacks. Utlasale snacks in the group.
Because
I don't know you. I know the other lady. Now I will be snacks to the guy, depending on what the relationship is between me and the guy. I'll be like, and then when, But in most cases, it's the women that come into our circles and we all snacks.
See, that's the conversation that I want to have. And ladies, sit down. Dulang fats. I get dulang fats. See, whether you have a problematic behavior, whether you think you have a problematic behavior, I really do think that this is something that we need to conversate and discuss. The one that I really want to chat about. I don't have any guy friends. I mean, I don't have any friends who are girls. I only hang out with guys. Oh, problematic statement personally.
Okay.
If I hear a woman say that, for me, it's problematic.
I don't have
I
girlfriends.
don't have friends who are girls. I
only
only
have guy
have friends
friends.
who are guys.
Because
women baso. I have the pleasure of having both worlds. Having a shitload of male friends and a shitload of female friends. And let me tell you, I gossip with my male friends more.
One thing about amadoda.
Hey, mamela wena, kshubile la. And so for me, that conversation is baseless for me to start with. And look, I always say that everyone's opinion is valid. And everyone has the right to opinions like an asshole. We all literally have it. However, that statement for me,
Do you know what
as a woman, to go around and say, I do not get along with other women. I only get along with males. And this is why. That for me raises such a big alarm. My antenna goes up immediately because then I know that you're a shit person.
Yep. That's
You're
exactly what I was
problematic.
going to say.
You're a shit person.
We can hang out together and we could be, Judge Judy's in our circle. But if it doesn't sit well with one of us or with me, I should be able to say, but guys, no, what we're doing is not cool, But I don't think you stepping away from your female friends makes you any better because there's nothing that's changed. What makes you so sure that you're not taking the habits that you formed with your other friends in bringing it into a different friendship? That's the messed up part for me. Because it doesn't make you any better. Because the whole idea about, embettering one another and being, there for one another, sisters and support, sisters in arms, whatever the case may be, is for us to be able to... No.
Oh, sisters in arms. Sorry, I thought it was a church. Sorry.
We all Bogoto ring. It's Women's Month.
Oh, I just threw it as sisters in arms. I thought it was a church thing. Sounds very churchy, eh? If we're being honest. But okay.
I give up.
Also, I haven't been to church for years, so.
You must come to church with me when I invite you. I want to invite you. But the whole point is, guys, if we're gonna sit together and not have an impact or a positive impact in the conversations that we have. I mean, I'm not saying let's not bullshit here and there, let's not laugh, let's not joke. But at the end of the day, no woman should walk into a space and walk out feeling empty. No woman should walk into a space and feel worse off than what they were when they walked in. We say be kind, kill them with kindness, let's be kind to one another. But when we sit in our cliques, let's also talk about the cliques that we formed. I mean, from high school days, there's groups, there's cliques that were not kind to one another. And this thing of woman hate, I think, stems from that, because it's almost like it was unspoken, Uguti, we're going to hate the grade 10 Bs against the grade 10 Fs and the grade 11. It's an unspoken thing, but there's this rivalry that we grow up with, which is what now we have brought into our adulthood, and now we have difficulty dealing with it. But it's something that we did from our teen years, and it's a problem.
It's even worse when you bring it to the workplace. I've once worked in a corporate where I had a female boss, and I never thought I'd talk about this. My first time as a graduate trainee, I was so happy, to be in that space and, be around someone that I can look up to and be like, yo, one day I want to be like her. She's a corporate lady. She's good. She can own the room and stuff like that. Until one day, another colleague of mine came to me and she said, Nana, calm down. You like her, ne? But these are the things she's saying about you behind your back. And I'm just a child at the time. I was about 22. And I couldn't understand, okay, why so much hate for a person you don't even know? Why so much hate? It boiled down to colorism, how I dressed, my height, and it wasn't just me. Even other younger female colleagues would go through the same abuse by virtue of them being younger. And the jealousy stemmed from, I think she was suffering from hair loss of some sort, and she would see Tsepi's hair and not like that, and make you suffer because of that, as if you chose for you to.
Ooh, so projection.
I have a question, though, for the woman. Unfortunately, I hope she's watching. The woman who came to you to caution you. I've just lost my train of thought. But the question I think I have for her is, was she telling you that to make you a better person, like to make you aware, or did she break your spirit at the same time?
I think she was telling me those things to make me aware of, the situation around me, because not only did the hate boil down to me enjoying my space in the workplace, it even went down to my performance reviews. I could not stand up to her. Every time I would stand up to her, it would go into my performance review. I remember coming back from maternity leave, and we all made jokes, and I said, no, me guys, I don't think I can go to a certain place now because I also have a child. Because everyone would use their child as an excuse for not going to a certain place. So I would say, oh, I'm not going to a certain place because I have a child. After coming out of that meeting, I was literally told, if you don't like it, you might as well go find another job. And I was like, okay, you are using your 9-year-old as an excuse, and I can't use my 3-month-old as an excuse. It was a lot of projection. And she knew it. She knew it because there were times when I would be like, I'm enough. And I would walk into the workplace with my headsets on just to not interact with her. Guaranteed. The next day when you walk into the office, you would find a gift on the table. And to show that she knew what she was doing, the other older women that made me aware of that behavior were like, pay attention. When she does something bad to you, and she knows she's done something bad to you, she's going to gift you something.
Oh, manipulation 101.
Wasn't that, though, an opportunity to reach out to her?
And say what?
Sometimes
it's not necessary.
Not necessarily saying that you're a bad person, but just to have a conversation with her. Find where her head is at. Just, because, I mean, we've already formed this idea, and we know Guti, she's jealous, she's intimidated, she's all sorts of things. But as malicious as she is, I mean, in buying your love and whatever, I think there was a cry to some extent. I mean, I wouldn't do that. If I was mean to you yesterday, I wouldn't buy. I'm not thinking of buying you a gift tomorrow. Like, deal with it. If she was 100% mean. But if you are...
That's manipulation. That's kind of how manipulation works, and that's how narcissists work. They start and they push you, right? Make someone feel shit about themselves, and also it's gaslighting as well.
Okay.
They manipulate you, and then after that come back and want to be the hero. So they
Now
come back
that
and
I
be the hero
get.
by giving you a gift, and then you go and you say, but she's not that bad, until she strikes again.
No, my thing is you accept the gift from the person who's just made you feel shitty.
The thing is, for me, also, because I had, how can I put it, unhealed parts of myself. I've had that kind of love where, for example, my mom would be nice to me one moment, and then when she's experiencing her bipolar setbacks, she'd be mean. So because you come from that background anyways, you don't know when to say no, when to say, I'm enough of
hear
this, I
you.
can't deal with this. The only thing that led me to finally stand up for myself and say, I can't deal with this, is when I resigned from my job. She was not the reason I resigned from my job, but
Yeah.
I ended up deciding for myself that this is not a healthy environment for me. I need to decide what makes me, even if it meant that we don't have to talk anymore, we just talk work. But trust me, in some corporates, especially when you're being led by a female, it comes down to a performance review. You're going to find things like, Nolu is emotional, as if being emotional is a bad thing. If you're going to make me feel a certain way that plays on my emotions, of
Yeah,
course I'm going to be emotional. But they use that against you. The next thing, and it's another woman who's supposed to understand that a woman is an emotional being by nature. So for you as a woman to come and use that against me in a performance review,
That's shit talk, man.
I
That's
think
rubbish
there's a lot of, from what I'm getting, there's a lot of, like you said in the beginning, Khumuzo, there's a lot of self-hate, and there's a lot of, what is the opposite of not being confident? A low self-esteem?
Low
and
self-esteem.
projecting.
Yeah, and
I mean, she's talking
projecting.
about the alopecia that she has, that she would hate someone who has more hair. Do you know what I mean? It's those little things that you can see where it stems from, and that, oh, shame, it's not me. It's actually you. And I think that's a lot of times we fail to see that it's not me, and it's not about me. It really is about you. I, in fact, had a conversation, not a conversation, there's a book that I read now and again. I even actually suggested it on my other podcast. It's called The 4 Agreements.
oh yeah.
Just kind of don't remember the author, or maybe I just don't know how to pronounce the author. That's probably why. And it talks about people's behavior. By the end of this book, you should be able to know that you shouldn't be taking things personally.
Yeah, that's
Right?
the one thing I got from the book.
Because you realize that people's behaviors are people's behaviors. And it's on them. It has nothing to do with you.
Say that again.
So
sister.
even with all of this thing of getting into a room and someone looks you up and down, someone thinks that you are a bitch without having said anything. You have not said a word, but you have already been labeled. That is a projection of who you are, what you are going through, that you are unable to identify and say. So it's much easier to pass it on to the next person. It's much easier to say, "Khomotso uso," as opposed to, I'm like this.
Yeah.
And this is why I feel khomotso uso. Because I haven't identified many things. And this is a lot of things that we don't identify, and a lot of things that we don't speak about, ladies. And relationships tend to fuck up our confidence. Tend to fuck up how we see each other. Because the thing is, there's also the competition element. The unwritten competition element. And shut up. Don't sit here and tell me none of you guys have ever done it. I've done it. Maybe sometimes I'm guilty of it. Maybe sometimes. That competition complex is entering into a room
Yeah.
where your man or your people are sitting and you're saying, ah, yeah, Tlomphala." You might not want to even say it in words, but it's a, when then, oh, apere. Ay, sana. Ay, nakitlisa.
Hence
You
I
know,
said
I
you
bring a
compare.
different kind of level. Me, I different. And that's a
Me, I drive
problematic
a certain
behavior.
car, me, I-
And that's problematic behavior all around. Because the fact is, once you take your key and you've put it in your pocket, siyafana sonke tali. Once you've taken your G-Wagon key and you've put it in your pocket, sifana sonke. What can you bring into this conversation? Once you've locked your house in wherever, midstream or wherever, once you've locked it in Blue Valley and your keys are in the car, siyafana sonke. I don't know where you live.
Sure.
I have no idea that you live in Blue Valley
And we
with the
don't
house
even
that
need
has
to
7
know where
floors.
you live.
Don't care a damn.
Yeah, Eva.
And that I shouldn't be treating you differently because I know where you live or I don't know where you live. And that's what women fail to do. That's what women fail to grasp. But also another thing that I feel women fail to grasp is the misunderstanding. We get misunderstood. Your silence gets misunderstood.
So
So your silence gets misunderstood as
big
being
time.
a bitch. Your
Loudness.
extrovertness gets misunderstood as pop. Do you know what I mean?
But in my experience, to your point, I've been lucky to make a friend who, when I first met the first time, she was my gym instructor. When I first met her for the first time, I was so bored. I was like, you are bored, wena. In her head, she was like, hey, you are papa, wena. You're so loud, unomsindo. When you come into the room, people must know you're here.
You know what they say? You're not outgoing warasa.
Yeah, you're not outgoing for us. And funny enough, now we've become the best of friends. She's even told me the first time I met her, I was like, oh, we are dika lumtwan unomsindo. Only to find out, okay, it's just her voice. She projects louder, but her heart, my heart is pure as gold.
Oh, bueno, nah.
Nah.
So you see what I mean when I say
We are yet to experience
there's
it.
still waiting for the gold. We are there on the copper.
Hey.
I
Diamond
genuinely
encrusted.
do feel like we really do get misunderstood. And I say this a lot because I also get misunderstood immensely. And I sort of always will clutch on people that I know.
Okay.
Right? If I'm at the space, I will clutch on people that I know. And it might be seen as you being in a clique. No, it's me being comfortable. I want to be comfortable when I'm at a space. And if you happen to be in the conversation, let us be in the conversation. It really does take me a while to sort of open up, right? And then let me give you an example. I have a good friend of mine, Mansu Pout. And we can definitely see her as a bitch. First time I met her, this girl sat, we're at the smoking area, the old building of Y, which is now the new building. And I'd speak, and she goes, she literally went,
Yeah.
dead as a nine. I thought, yes, sis, this beach. Why should it be like this? But I'm like, one thing I am going to do, I'm going to bullshit my way through it, and I'm actually just going to lie and pretend like I'm comfortable in this space, but I'm not. Do you know, a couple of months later, we were the ones who would go out, and because we completely misunderstood each other. Wow. She misunderstood me as Hupapa, which, look, I suppose is not much of a misunderstanding there.
Ooh.
Oh, don't be so quick to comment. And I misunderstood her as a bitch. But I realized that me and her have quite a similar character. And the similar character is, not necessarily like papa like South because I must say, I really do, to cut off nerves, I will be, show me, I will be a little bit, I'll take it up so that I'm able to get through a conversation so that it's not so awkward for me. And maybe also to hide a bit of my anxiety.
I was
But
about to
maybe
say that.
when I'm at work, I mean, there's a girl who started at work, won't say her name. And, well, look, let me say most of the ladies that start at work think I'm a bitch. Okay? I'm not trying to demystify that because also,
You see, this is why. Because when in your head, in her head, you're being a bitch.
Sometimes you must just keep on happy, then I can also open up myself. And okay, regardless of that, I just genuinely do feel like sometimes we get to a point where, especially in my workspace, I mean, she had a conversation with someone else and said I was mean to her. And can I tell you, I could not have been mean to her. And please take this in the most surface way possible. I could not have been mean to her because I would have to have acknowledged her to have been mean to her. But you see, I said take it on the surface and I'll tell you why. She's making me sound like a bitch.
You are a bitch. What do you mean you would have had
So
to
I would have
acknowledge
had
her?
to
Did you not?
acknowledge her and
What do you
know-
mean by acknowledge her?
Acknowledge her means, oh, I see that she's here. Oh, you are part of
You
the
didn't see
conversation.
her.
Because I was with my people.
Even the guys that
Wait, let me tell you. Hold on, let me tell you. Okay, we were away.
Yes.
And my thing is, I'm talking to my friends that I know. Anybody who was here who didn't really say anything, akalibona. And it's not a mean thing, it's not a bad thing. It's, I just really, maybe, as you said, aloof. Maybe I was just quite aloof about what was
You just
happening
went
around
to
me.
who you
Yeah.
are drawn to.
And maybe she might have said something that in that time I can see you even in the conversation and you see that as mean. I see her now, I greet her now. And look, after I found out what she said about me, I was like, I'm not a mean person. Out of everything that you'd say, I'm not a mean person. Maybe my lack of acknowledgement for a lot of things or a
Came
lot of
across
people
as mean.
not seeing, and it's not that I kiho acknowledge because I kiho bone as a person. No, I just wasn't paying attention to you at the time. I was here. I was being present with the people that I am with. And of course,
Did you
that's
at
being
least say
seen as a
hi?
bitch.
No.
Why are you
I
saying
can
no?
answer for her.
I don't remember.
She
that.
didn't.
Then you
I don't remember. But I don't see
not
why I wouldn't have
necessarily,
said
not
hi.
necessarily
You know me,
being
I
mean.
find people like abana mashleliga sone, and then somebody comes, there's the three of us, and then she or he walks in and goes straight to greet Nolu and not us. I find that to be mean and disrespectful. Acknowledge and say sanbonan and then move on to the person you're
Sure,
going
except
to.
now if I am sitting in a conversation, we're sitting now, and somebody walks in, and as they walk in, I'm having a conversation with you. They don't say hi. They stand here. And I have a conversation with you. We're having a conversation. We're full in a conversation. And there's many people in this conversation. Do you want me to stop and say, hi, how are you? It's so nice to see you. Who's are
really.
you?
No, not really like
Lala
that,
pisa
but-
lulu, ne?
Sanbonan, if you are the one who's walking into people having a conversation, I think it's proper manners to just greet people. You don't have to say anything to them unless, because we were sitting there and having lunch, whatever, by Asbona and they walk past, that's fine. But if you're gonna walk into our space where we are chilling and you just sit there and then you start looking at us up and down, then that's disrespectful. I feel like if you're gonna walk into our space, the proper thing to do is greet and go sit there by yourself if that's what you feel like doing.
Sure. Look, I suppose if I've been disrespectful to anyone, it completely was unintentional. Or if it was intentional, it's because you dished it to me and I will
I'm
dish it
dishing
back.
it back
I will definitely
10
dish back.
times
Call me Miss
more.
Petty Labelle. That is what I am. Okay? I swim in pettiness. And it's definitely contradictory to what I
What-
stand for.
yeah.
And it's definitely contradictory to the work that I do when it comes to women and having a kumbaya-ness. But also on the other hand, I will do the same thing to a man who does the same thing. So basically for me, it's non-gender.
It's non-gender.
And I get to a point where ke tlo go phoqa, ha o mphoqa. Ha o nsheba up and down, I'm going to show you myself. And I know
Sure.
it's so stupid.
It's
but
so-
fuck it, ke kgathetse.
No, it is stupid, and it's just unfortunate that we're running out of time with this conversation. But I think in parting shots, and I think from your experience with this young lady, maybe we need to get out of our own heads.
We spend a lot of time there.
I think we need to get out of our own heads. There's a lot more going on. There's a whole big world to see and experience and people to experience. So get out of your own world.
And like you welcoming community.
Yeah.
Because now the problem is that you think you're gonna come to I and like you welcome. Ah, welcome to I. Sink or
Yeah.
swim. We're moving here, babes.
You know,
We're
I
on
also
time.
hear what Khumotso was saying. Obviously, when you walk, okay, it's not obvious for some people, but when you walk into a room, yes, you ought to be, to greet everybody.
Cordial,
But yeah, but when you walk into a space where Utsebi was in conversation with her
Someone
friends, maybe she should have also made a bit of an effort, like when she gets in, let's say you guys were in a circle or whatever, she'd be like, hey guys, just
Or maybe not. Maybe not. Here's what I would have appreciated. I would have appreciated our interaction to not be based on the fact that I was having a conversation with other people and that's how you will judge my interaction with you. That's not an interaction at all. We could have had many other interactions in the times that we were in this space, that we were away. And you would have been able to see the type of person that I was. Apart from the fact that I was completely off generally in that trip anyway.
Okay.
It had nothing to do
Off
with
the
her.
head.
I just wasn't having the greatest of
Oh,
trips.
okay.
And it had nothing to do with her. And you see, those are the things that you will misunderstand because you will think the way I feel or the way that I am is directed at you. I mean,
Yeah.
I had swollen eyes the entire trip, example. I had shades on the whole trip. That will obviously come across
Someone
as...
broke her heart in it, but
I've got very sensitive eyes. Let's keep it. Let's keep it that way.
but those are my parting shots. Let's get out of our heads, guys.
No, those are not parting shots.
They are. We've run out of time.
Time is... It's a concept.
It's a construct.
Time is the concept.
We
Time
have
is
not
money.
answered the question. Do
Why?
women hate each other when they are in one space, when they don't know each other, when they walk into a space filled with women? Do we dislike each other?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Me, gay. Before my sets, they tend to be cold. I would smile and they'll be like, after my sets, oh my gosh, we love you. Oh my gosh, we love you. You're a female DJ. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. But before that, some of them, not all of them, they would be cold. But also, to Nolu's point, mhlampe, you're upset because your man looked at me some type of way and you think I'm there for your man, or you were simply going through something and I was the one who's in my head about it because I looked at your resting bitch face and I was like, she don't like me. Kanti no. It could be.
Nolu?
Guys, I won't deviate from my parting shots. Those are my parting shots. We need to get out of our heads. I don't know how else to say this, and I think she's just made a perfect example. Yoguti, before she plays, everybody's just, mising her and being cold, but the minute she gets off stage, everybody's all lovey-dovey. What changed between then and now?
Who and what she does.
You know what I mean? So it's got everything to do with us, and unfortunately, Tebe, I think we won't have. I personally don't have an answer to the question. Besides the let's get out of our heads. And I think maybe the ladies and the gents that are watching the conversation could help us answer the question: if do women hate each other? I know we're gonna sit here and say we don't hate each other, but our actions say otherwise. You know? So I
Especially-
don't know if we either want somebody to say that I like you or to show you that they like you. Which one works for you?
I like that we're being so noble and all of us have been hated in a room once upon a time.
No, we've
So-
been hated.
And
We've
we've
hated as well.
We've been hated and we've hated
know
as
what I
well. Share your comments and, of course, share your experiences. We always encourage them. I don't have parting shots on this. It's always just topsy-turvy. It comes and goes. When you are in a woman's space, it's quite volatile. The 1 minute we're great. The next minute, people are getting stabbed and their
Except for the
boobs are getting
bathrooms.
grabbed. And, their wigs are getting snatched. So... all I'm saying is let's just be kinder to each other. We really don't know what we're going through. This could be your next friend. This could be your next business partner. This could be the person who helps you through a difficult time. This could be someone who's going through the exact same thing that you're going through. Be kinder. That's all we're saying. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome episode. Cuisino, food, wine, and of course, a beautiful, beautiful lounge. We really appreciate them. They're doing amazing for
They
us.
must not forget our event, 27th of August.
It will be right
let's
here
right
at
here.
The
Cuisino.
conversations,
Yeah,
right?
it will definitely be here at Cuisino in Melrose. Details will definitely come up very, very soon. It's going to be an awesome one. Ladies, you're invited. Gents, you're also invited to come through and be part of the conversations. Part of the conversations means giving us your ear, listening and learning, because that's exactly what this podcast is about. My name is Seppi.
DJ Black Velvet.
And church girl.
And just like that, we are.
Boom.